Hey, good morning, everybody. Rev here this morning. It is Tuesday. It's the 15th of November. Hope you're safe and well and blessed this morning. I'm continuing on with Joe Miller's book, A Better Man, Husband, and Father, something you can find online and purchase it. I think that you would very much enjoy it as well as his other book, Dog Walk Talk. While I'm walking, God is talking. I'm going to read to you this morning from from First John, chapter 4, verse 20 and 21. If anyone says, I love God, and yet hates his brother, he is a liar. For anyone who does not love his brother whom he has seen cannot love God whom he has not seen. And he has given us this command: whoever loves God must also love his brother. This is the word of God for the people of God. Thanks be to God. We've all said it at some point in time in our lives. I hate that. Or I hate him. I hate her. Maybe hate's a strong word, but we use it. We say it. Joe Miller asked the question, what is hate? Well, it means to feel hostility toward someone or something, or to detest. Joe says, I don't like the word hate because it's a hateful word. It's a negative term that describes in an over-the-top way a passion-filled dislike for something or someone. And that said, Joe says, for quite some time in my life, hate was indeed a part of my life and my mindset. Joe grew up in Florida and in Georgia in the 50s and the 60s. And in the culture that he grew up in, racial hatred was the norm. Blacks weren't black then. They were referred to by another name. Don't hear it much today. But he said, I hated blacks because I was, he said that's all I was exposed to. The other thing Joe says that he hated, he said, I also came to hate homosexuals. They weren't called gays then. Not only is it part of the culture that I grew up in, Joe says, to hate them as a young, naive, youngster, he said there were several incidents where I was taken advantage of by some homosexuals, which scared my life for a long time. He goes on to say, he says, my obvious and visible hatred of both of those parts of our society lasted well into his adulthood. There were many layers of onion skin to pull back to get rid of it, Joe says, to free me to start accepting all people as simply members of the human race. And in the second example, he said, it took me years to learn to love the sinner and to hate the sin. He said, to grow, I had to let go of many ingrained and developed generalizations and assumptions that he had held about people. And it come down to, Joe says, I had to let go of my hate. You know, it's something that you just can't let go of all of a sudden. You, that quick, don't stop hating something, especially something that's ingrained in our minds. And I'm guessing this morning that there are things in your life that are holding you back from spiritual growth. If you labeled each bar on a set of monkey bars, if you labeled each bar on that monkey bar set with those things that you need to let go of, things that are interfering with your spiritual growth as a Christian, what would they be? They'd be different for everybody, I'm sure. But think about it. What would they be? Life is like monkey bars. You have to let go if you're going to move on. One of the greatest teachings that the Apostle John told his disciples is love one another. In fact, as he got older, and he couldn't even walk, and his disciples would have to carry him to synagogue so that he could teach. And it got to the point where all John would say is love one another. And finally one day, one of his disciples asked, "Teacher, why do you always tell us to love one another?" And John's reply was, "If you do this, it is enough." I'm Pastor Mark. Love you guys. Be safe, be well, be blessed, and be strong. I'll see you tomorrow. And go do something for Jesus.